Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Sylvia and I make videos on planning with the occasional review. Today's video is going to be a little bit more of an extended version of the review I've already done on the new versus the old Moterm Traveler'S notebook. So I did a review on this. I highly recommend you watch that if you're interested in the anatomy of both of these Traveler's notebooks. This is just adding on to a couple of questions that I ended up getting. So as you can see here, the gray newer version of the Moterm Traveler'S notebook with the pop closure is a little bit wider than the older version. So the question really, there was about 2 to 3 questions and they all summed kind of into one major question: what really fits in here and exactly how much can fit in here? So let's go ahead and try that out. Now I have covered up my cards and everything in here. If you see a card, like, it's not that serious. I've already gone through and turned things around, so it should be fine. But let's try out this one first. And I was like scrounging around looking for some inserts to fit into these Traveler's notebooks because I've already set up the gray Traveler's notebook for the month of April, and currently we're on day 12, and I thought I would do a video on day 15 when we are in mid-month and let you know how I'm feeling about that. So my inserts are already decorated, that was the point, and I don't want to show them, so I had to go and find some more inserts that I could use to put in here. So I will show you how 4 look on here. Again, we have 2 of the longer elastics and then 2 of the shorter ones. Hopefully you can see this okay. It's kind of dark in here. I had to close my shade because it's a bright sunny day and the sun was just blaring in and you couldn't see anything either way. So here we go. So there's 1, 2, and then we're going to use the shorter elastics down here, which I'm not a super fan of, but you know, it is what it is. This is an old one that you've seen me use before. 3, 4. So all of these inserts are either by Traveler's Company or they are the Moterm inserts that came or I ordered in standard size. So here's how 4 inserts, a mixture of Moterm and Traveler's notebook, look in here. So you kind of have to maneuver these notebooks in here, which is something I don't care for, and that's because the elastics, the way they have set this up, they're just, are you going to focus or no? There we go. They're uneven because you get 2 long strings and 2 short strings, so they just sit kind of weird, and you just kind of have to play with them a little bit, see how they kind of, but it's not that serious, I don't think. All right, so anyway, that almost comes exactly to the edge, so with a couple of dashboards, and if you put cards and other things in here, it's certainly going to make it really nice. But let's go ahead and see if we can fit 6, because currently we have 4, for those people who really like to stuff. All right, so that is 6 inserts, and you do have overhang. So from the front, you can't see it. From the back, you certainly can. So I am going to just take 1 out and put 1 of these on the last string and see how that fits. Okay, so it looks like you can fit 5 in here without any overhang, and that will work out. So if you're someone who likes to stuff, or you feel like 4 inserts is just not enough and 6 is too much, this is the perfect Traveler's notebook for you. Certainly more than you're going to be able to fit into a standard Traveler's Company notebook cover. So 5 in this one. Now for this guy, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put 2 on every single one of these strings. First, I'm going to put 1 on each so you can see how it looks with all 4. And because it is wider, 4 feels like it's not full enough. And I'm not a stuffer because I'm a lazy planner and I don't like to take my inserts out or off of the string rather to write on them. I just like to be able to open it and write, and so I don't like much of a hump because that kind of drives me a little crazy. Number 4. Okay. So you can see that these are uneven. Again, even though these let's see if you can see right there. There, focus. Okay. Even though these have the 3 holes, they still end up a little bit uneven, so you have to situate them either way. I just think that this one works a little better than the other. This fell out, but that's okay. Put that over to the side. So now we have 4 inserts in here. And you can see that there is plenty of space. So if you're someone who likes your, what was I going to say? To use things like this, obviously these are days of the week, but if they said different things to make your tabs and have tabs out here, post-it tabs, they certainly will be secure so that when you put them in your bag, they will not stick out. And this, of course, has 2 options. So I actually have, I believe, at least 1 post-it tab here, and it doesn't hit this. So that works out just fine. Now, the more inserts you put in, the more this section is going to push out. So be aware of that. But with 4, you can certainly have tabs without any issues. I'll take these off, and I'm going to add 2 to each string. Actually, before I do that, before I forget, someone did ask me about the idea notebooks because this is a wider traveler's notebook. They were interested in if these A5 slim idea notebooks would fit in here. Slim meaning that they're not as wide. They're still the same height, but not the same width. So I don't know if they even fit in this one, which is more narrow. So let me try that real quick because I actually didn't know the answer to that. I was like, good question. I have no idea. So this is an A5 Slim Idea Notebook by Kokyo, as you can see there. And this actually is a little bit too narrow to fit this in there. Once you put, let me see, I think I was able, yeah, I found a couple more. Okay, so here's another idea notebook. I have it covered. You can see it's on the back. And then this is the life book that you can get. So let me try these in here. I'm just going to say off the bat, they're not going to fit without overhang. And if that's not an issue for you, then you do you. It's an issue for me. I am not a fan of overhang, especially because these are Tomoe River paper, or they used to be. I can't remember now. Maybe they changed the paper of these. Sorry. Anyway, it's very thin paper either way, and these are not, I mean, they're good quality cardstock, but I think that at least on this one, because it has the elastic closure, it's going to dig into your inserts and, leave marks, and I don't like that. So just be aware. But if they fit in the other guy, you don't have to worry about the elastic digging in because you have the pop closure. So there you go. That's with 3 A5 Slim. They're just going to stick out a lot. Well, a lot for me anyway. Maybe it's not a lot for you. Also, I like to tab things up, so it certainly would stick out. And if I put this in a bag, it'd mess up my tabs. So be aware of that. Okay, so back to the newer version of the Moterm that is also wider. See how the A5 Slim Idea Notebooks by Kokyo fit in here. And it looks like it might stick out a little bit, but when it's flat, it looks like it fits. So let me put the other 2 in here before I come to a final conclusion. Okay, so this is with 3 of the A5 Slims, and I will let you know that I, at some point, have cut these down and made them more narrow. They're very easy to cut down with just a ruler, and you can use a box cutter, or what is the other thing called? Do I have mine anywhere near me? Like a Fiskars guy like this. I don't know why I can't think of the name, but it's by Fiskars. You know, you can get them by anyone. These are very easy. Just have to be patient. Hold down the ruler, cut them down, and you can cut them down a size. I usually use a standard size I already have to make the mark so that I stay straight, and it works out really, really well if they are too wide. Okay, so these 3 are in here. I'm gonna close it up, and it looks like to me that they are definitely too wide. You're gonna have overhang, and if you're someone who tabs things, that would be an issue for me. But if you put it on the first one, it pretty much hits up against that a little bit. Not, see, I mean, not in a bad way, there's still space, but I'm saying if you do have tabs there, I always like try to tab here and here if you have a situation like this, especially with your elastics. I will always leave a little space there to have the closure fit if it's going to come to the edge like this. And this is on the last little pop closure. Plenty of space there, so it's not hitting up against, but it's definitely sticking out a lot. So those were the main questions about this. So let's go ahead and put 2 on every single one of these elastics, which will give us a total of 8 inserts in here. I'm going to say, since the last one didn't fit 6, it only fit 5, that this is not going to fit 8. It's probably going to fit 7. Those are my thoughts. So let's see if I'm right. Okay, so now I have the 8. All of them are piggybacked. So here is 2. Here is 4. Here is 6. Here is 8. It looks like I got some kind of gook on here. I don't know. Maybe I accidentally killed a bug. Poor bug. Okay, so 8 is, this is out of control. I mean, you do you. This is certainly not who I am. Again, these are inserts by Traveler's Company, which are usually 64 pages, I believe. And I'm not sure on the Moterm, but I think that with the thicker paper, it's still about similar. Does it look similar? I think it does in the dimensions. Okay, so let's see what happens. So from the front, there is no overhang. From the back, we're getting a little. I think if I pushed it a little bit, there we go. No overhang. We'll see how it buckles, and then no overhang. So the first buckle is a no for me. Again, using Traveler's Company inserts and the Moterm inserts. The second one does buckle. Again, no overhang from the front. Now that it's buckled, slight overhang from the back. This looks awkward. There we go. And yeah, that's how it looks. From the side, that is a chunky monkey. This is a brick. But a lot of us aren't, moving around very much still with COVID, so maybe it's just gonna sit at your desk. There we go. So you can fit 8 in here. I mean, reasonably. It does have overhang. If you're someone who's like, nope, can't do overhang, I'm going to take one insert out for you. I feel like this would be crazy to write on. So I wish I could take my camera down, but I'm too lazy. So here's the thing. When you want to write on this first insert, there's just like literally space underneath here. What I do if that becomes a situation and you're too lazy like me as a planner to take this apart, especially if you have dashboards and other things on here and it's just going to become a hassle, I try to take an insert or two. So this one again, it's probably like 80 or 160. I'm not sure which one. Probably 160. That looks pretty chunky. And then here's another one by Traveler's Company. I put a couple under here so that when I write, it makes this a little flatter. Does that make sense? So now there's not that big old like gap underneath. So that's something you can certainly do if you want to try out 8 inserts. I was always the person who started out with 8 and then I would like scale back to 6 and then I'd end up with like 3 as a comfortable number for me, sometimes 1, but I always go to 2 eventually because 1 is never enough. So it does close, yes. I'm going to take 1 out and see if we get rid of that overhang, which I think we will. I'll take the dead bug one off. Oh, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's food. Okay. So now there are 7 inserts instead of 8. And oh, look at that. Now you can buckle the first one with 7 in there. And I'm sorry I forgot to put a pen in there, so that's not even with a pen situation. So here's 7. Absolutely no overhang, but it will fit 7. The other one fit 5, so this one fits 2 more if you're someone who does like to stuff, or if you like to have 5 inserts and a bunch of other crap in there, including like, to be honest, I do have my full-on wallet here as well as here. Every single one of these is taken up and I only have 1 missing here. So that is adding some bulk as well. So if you didn't use those, maybe you could fit 8. I'm not going to take those out. I think we can all just, you know, estimate that in our heads. So there's that. Okay. I hope that this was helpful to you. I do know that people like to stuff and it's just interesting, I think, to know in general what you can fit in here. Also, if you're like me, and you're not a fan of stuffing, this might be, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to take this off, a traveler's notebook that you might not want to cover anyway, just because it feels like you have to add a lot in here to make the books come to the edge and look nice and feel nice in the hand. And that's something that's important to me personally. It's not everybody's thing. And so I don't want it to be this, like, so I personally wish it was sort of the same width as this, but that's when customations come into play, you guys, and you have to like pay to get what you want and order something from like Vanderspec or whatever. So, you know, for the price of this, it's just not too bad. Some people might want it to be wider. It is what it is. I've been playing with this for 12 days now, and I've been enjoying it, even though my notebooks don't really come to the edges much. I haven't had a major issue, and I've even taken it into the store with my wallet because I thought that's going to be weird and crazy, but yeah, more on that when I do my setup in a couple of days. All right, so thanks for the questions, because what I have learned is if a couple people are asking, then many people are probably wondering. So there's that. All right, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I hope that this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.